When the doorbell rang at 8 in the morning, Martha knew something had broken. Not in the house. Not in the car. But between her and her son, irreparably. She didn't rush to open it. Standing in her robe by the kitchen sink, she clutched a cup of cold coffee and stared out the window at the backyard, where the wind chased an empty soda can across the dry grass. Everything looked ordinary, and yet, nothing was. Because on the other side of the door stood Jacob. And he hadn't shown up unannounced in 7 years. 7 years since she'd said the words she shouldn't have. 7 years since he'd walked out, slamming the door so hard that the porcelain mug with her name on it, the one he'd made in elementary school art class, had fallen from the shelf and shattered. Martha took a deep breath, set down her cup, and walked to the door. Her heart wasn't pounding from fear. It was pounding with hope, the kind she'd carefully buried beneath layers of pride and resentment. "Hey, Mom," he said when she opened the door. His voice was quieter than she remembered. His eyes were tired. A fresh razor nick marked his cheek. In his hands, a worn duffel bag and a manila folder. "You alone?" she asked, glancing past him at the empty street. "Yeah. Can I come in?" She nodded. Didn't hug him. Didn't smile. Just stepped aside. He walked past her, paused in the living room, and looked around as if seeing it for the first time in years. On the wall hung the same photograph, him at 15, grinning with a baseball bat, his father beside him, already ill but still strong. The day they'd won the school tournament. The last day everything had felt simple. "Why are you here, Jake?" Martha asked from the doorway. He didn't answer right away. He walked to the couch, set his bag on the cushion, and sat, head bowed. "I need you to sign some papers," he finally said. "For custody of Lila." Martha froze. "Lila? My daughter. You never heard?" She shook her head slowly, as if each movement hurt. "No. No one ever told me. She's 6. Her mom left. For good. A week ago. Left a note and the keys. She's not coming back." Martha moved closer and sank onto the edge of the armchair across from him. A lump rose in her throat. "And you want me to?" "I can't do it alone, Mom. My shifts are all over the place. She needs stability. A home. She needs a grandmother." The word hung in the air. Grandmother. The role she'd always dreamed of. The one she'd missed. "Why didn't you call sooner?" she whispered. "Because I was angry. Because I thought you still believed I was wasting my life, like you said back then." She remembered that night. Jake had just come home from college and announced he was dropping law school to move to Austin and work as a sound engineer. She'd snapped, "You're disappointing me. Your father wanted you to be someone." He'd shot back, "I want to be myself." She'd retorted, "Yourself doesn't pay the bills." He'd left. And never returned. "I was wrong," she said now. He looked at her, really looked at her for the first time. "So was I. I shouldn't have stayed silent all these years. Especially not after Lila was born." He pulled a photo from the folder. A little girl with chestnut curls, wearing a red dress, laughing with an ice cream cone in her hand. Behind her, a park, swings, sunlight. "She looks like you," Martha whispered. "She loves to draw. Asks 1,000 questions a day. Hates broccoli. Is scared of thunder. And misses her mom. But she doesn't cry. Says moms don't cry." Martha felt tears welling. She turned away. "Did you bring her here?" "She's with a neighbor. While I figure things out. Bring her. Now." He nodded, stood, but didn't move. "You're sure about this? It's not just for a day. It's long term." "I'm sure," she said. "I've always been ready. I just didn't know I was waiting for her." Lila entered the house cautiously, clutching her father's hand. She wore jeans, a unicorn t-shirt, and pink sneakers, one lace-tied, the other dangling loose. She scanned the living room, then fixed her eyes on Martha and froze. "This is Grandma," Jake said gently. "Remember I told you about her?" The girl nodded but didn't step forward. "Hi, Lila," Martha said, forcing calm into her voice though her heart raced. "Want a cookie? I baked chocolate chip. With walnuts. Peanut butter? Lila asked. No. Walnuts. Are you allergic? No. I just don't like peanuts. Then you're in luck. Only walnuts here. Lila smiled, a small, shy smile, and took a step forward. And so their first day together began. The week passed in quiet gestures and careful words. Lila slept in the guest room, once Jake's childhood bedroom. Martha changed the sheets, bought new toys, and pinned the drawings Lila made during those first 2 days to the wall. Jake came by every evening, sometimes for dinner, sometimes just to check in. He and Martha barely spoke, only about Lila. Her sleep, her meals, her moods. But even in those brief exchanges, something thawed. One night, after Lila was asleep, Jake lingered over coffee in the kitchen. You never asked why Claire left, he said suddenly. Martha stirred sugar into her cup. Not my business. It is if you're going to be with Lila. She'll ask. Sooner or later. He paused. Claire wasn't ready to be a mother. She thought she could have it all. Career, friends, parties. But when Lila got pneumonia at 2, Claire disappeared for 3 days. I found her at a bar with a new guy. After that, everything fell apart. And you? I tried. Hard. But I'm alone. And my job, it's unstable. I'm not a hero, Mom. I'm just a dad who's terrified he'll fail. Martha placed her hand over his. You already succeeded. You brought her here. That's what matters most. He squeezed her fingers. Thank you. On Sunday morning, Lila woke early and ran into the kitchen holding a drawing. This is for you, Grandma. On the page, a woman with gray hair, a little girl, and a man with a guitar. Above them, a big sun and the words, my family. Martha pressed the drawing to her chest. It's the most beautiful gift I've ever received. Where's Dad? Lila asked. He'll be here for lunch. And then he'll leave again? Yes. The girl frowned. And I'll stay. If you want to. I do. It smells like home here. Martha couldn't hold back tears. You're home, Lila. Lunch was quiet but warm. Jake helped Martha set the table. Lila proudly demonstrated her secret knot that never comes undone. After the meal, they went into the backyard. Jake brought out an old basketball, the same one he'd played with as a kid. I'll show you how to shoot a three-pointer, he told Lila. And I'll show you how to catch, Martha added, rising from the swing. They played until sunset. Laughed. Teased. Jake hoisted Lila onto his shoulders so she could score the winning shot. Martha captured it all on an old film camera, not her phone. Because she wanted these moments to last. Forever. When it was time to leave, Jake held his daughter for a long, long time. You'll call every day, she asked. Every day. And I'll come every weekend. Promise? I swear. He walked over to Martha. Thank you for taking her in. Thank you for trusting me. He nodded, got in his car, and drove away. Lila stood at the gate until his taillights vanished around the corner. Then she took her grandmother's hand. Let's go home. Let's go, Martha said. 2 months passed. Lila started at the local school. She made a friend named Emily, who also loved to draw. Jake came every Saturday and stayed through Sunday dinner. Sometimes he and Martha argued about discipline, food, screen time. But now it wasn't fighting. It was talking. One evening, after Lila was asleep, Martha found a letter in the drawer of an old dresser. Unopened. Addressed to her. In Jake's handwriting. Dated 5 years ago. She opened it. Mom. Lila turned 1 today. She said Dada for the first time. I thought of you, how you taught me my first words, how you sang lullabies when I couldn't sleep. I wanted to write. I wanted to call. But pride, or resentment, wouldn't let me. I'm sorry I didn't let you be a grandmother from the start. Your son. Jake. Martha folded the letter and slipped it back into the envelope. Then she stepped onto the porch and looked up at the stars. She knew. The past couldn't be fixed. But the future could be rebuilt. Brick by brick. Day by day. Word by word. Sometimes reconciliation doesn't need grand gestures. Sometimes it only takes a knock on the door at 8 in the morning. and one little girl who draws a family where everyone is together.